So if there's no, if we're all quiet, I'll call this meeting to order. Welcome to the County of Newell Municipal Planning Commission meeting for May the 7th. We have some visitors in the audience. So before I get started, let's do introductions. I'll begin with Neil, if you'll start us off. Introductions. Let's tell people who you are.
I'm Neil Johnson, Division 7 Councillor. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ben Hofer, Division 8 Duchess.
Good morning. Welcome to Council, or MPC, sorry. Greg Screever, Councillor Lake Newell Resort and South of Brooks.
And I'm Kelly Chrisman. Welcome. I'm from the northwest side of the county, Division 6.
Good morning, Arno Dirksen, Gem and Rural Rosemary.
Welcome, Matt Fensky, CAO.
Good morning, Dan Baumgarten, Rolling Hills Div 1.
Good morning. I'm Lynette Kopp, Division 3, Patricia Millicent area.
Good morning, Emma Sinclair, Planning and Development Administrative Assistant.
Good morning, Catherine Siaklet, Communications Officer.
Whoops. Good morning, Sandra Stanway, Brooks Bulletin.
Jeff Tiffin, manage the Planning, Development, and Engineering Department.
Can we get a microphone, Catherine, please? Thank you.
Scott and Leslie Burton, Tillery Farms, Tilley, Alberta.
Thank you.
Maria Jackson.
And Mark Harbeck, Director of Municipal Services.
Great. Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Okay, there's no reason for excused from the meeting. Minutes. Oh, yes, we do have an empty chair. I'm sorry. Would somebody like to excuse Councillor Johnson? Ben? Councillor Hofer moves to excuse Councillor Johnson from the MPC meeting. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thanks for that help. Minutes. In our package, how do you wish to handle them? Councillor
Make
Cobb?
a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor then? That is carried. Agenda. Is there post-agenda items before we go further? Seeing none. A motion to adopt the agenda, please. Councillor Baumgarten. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Development permit report. In our package, Shanna Lee, is there anything you would like to highlight or discuss? Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to note that the 2026033 is not an additional building. This building was approved previously a few months ago. They changed the square footage of the building, so this is a revised permit.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Shanna Lee on the report? I didn't look up the address on the shipping container for the town of Bassano. Is that out at the airport? Thank you. Okay, we will accept for information then. Thank you. 7.1, development permits. Shanna Lee will take this. Thank you.
Thank you. Development permit 2025096 is for the operation of an agricultural intensive business, specifically 18 greenhouses. Additionally, the construction of an agricultural building. There's no customers coming to the site. All the products will be delivered from the parcel to destination. There will be one semi-truck delivering stock to the parcel annually. The shop and the greenhouse were constructed without a development permit and are located on top of the County of Newell rural water line. The shop was constructed slightly closer than the 30-meter setback requirement and is therefore requesting a variance of 6.5 meters to the setback of a county road. We're recommending approval of the position with the relocation of the County of Newell rural water line. And Mr. and Mrs. Burton are here to respond to questions.
Great, thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Burton, would you like to come forward? Right. Is there anything you would like to add before I ask for questions from MPC?
I think it's probably just best to start with the questions.
Okay, sure. Questions? Anybody have questions on the application? Okay. Sure. Go ahead, Councillor Screever.
Hi, Leslie. Question for you, just with respect to the builder of the shop. Did he indicate any, when he did his work, due diligence as far as where the shop goes and all that? Or did he indicate, or did he just put it down wherever?
So we planned the position of the shop, and it's next to the right-of-way due to just the access for semis to be able to deliver product so that they didn't have to go through the yard. And when we had Norseman come into our first meeting with Jeff and the rest of the crew, he indicated that they did not know that they could not build on a water line. So that was also made in that meeting. When we built the shop, I asked Norseman if we needed any permits or anything else, and they said no, because it was an ag building. I looked at the bylaws, and the bylaws said that the ag buildings were exempt, so we didn't think that we needed anything for permits. It was just misleading in the bylaws. I think perhaps moving forward, if you're going to enforce development permits on ag buildings, then it should be indicated in the bylaws underneath ag buildings that they actually aren't exempt in that case, because you do actually need a permit for the development if that's the case. But it also, like, so it's just misleading. It said we were exempt, and that's what we went with. And the 28-meter setback, we did measure it to the fence line, which is in line with the county right-of-way, and it was over 30, so I am assuming that is the overhang that we weren't measuring from. It was the corner of the northwest corner of the shop. So that's probably why we're within 10% there. Does that say 28? So 26? Okay. So fairly close to our, like, it's within 10 to 20% of the buffer, correct? So I guess we'd like to ask for an exemption on that, considering it's within 10 to 20% of the required setback. The process for us, does that answer your question, or is there anything else?
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? How do you wish to handle the application?
We have some comments.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Yep.
So the process for this whole entire build started in 2022, and we had our first locate in November of 2022, and that was for the 3 greenhouses that you can see in the picture. That build was delayed because the builder didn't follow through on their contract, so that pushed us to the spring of 2023, and we had a second locate done and completed in March 27th of 2023. That's when it was submitted to One Call. And then fast forward, that's when those 3 were built. And then fast forward to 2024, when we went to do our shop build in September, we submitted a One Call on September 16th of 2024 for the shop. I have all of the locates. It clearly defines what it is that we're building and what we're constructing on every locate. It also has the maps alongside with the area indicated of where it is that we were constructing. So in September, we had a delay with the builder, and that got pushed to October. And so when doing the locate, the approvals officer with the county stated in a conversation that we would indeed need a crossing agreement for our build. And he sent us a crossing agreement from the county on October 2nd of 2024. That was signed and returned on October 14th of 2024. And on October 15th, he came out to remark the line for our shop base and marked it for the construction crew, said he talked to the crew, and in his email stated those two facts, and then also said all is good on October 15th of 2024. On March 27th of 2025, we submitted a 5th locate, and that was for the remainder of the 15 greenhouses that were currently built last season, in addition to the 3 that are there. So we were contacted on May 16th via text message that we were on top of the water line and didn't have a development permit. Was the full conversation of something needed to be done because we were on the water line. But we had had 5 locates done from 2022 to 2025 with no indication of any issue with the water line coming from the county, other than saying conflict. If the line needs to be marked, please contact the approvals officer, which I did. He came out, marked the line. And then when we went to build the shop, that's when he said, you need a crossing agreement. And we were provided that. So with the crossing agreement provided to the farm, we assumed we were in good standing with the county on our development, and we proceeded to build the shop and 15 greenhouses. And 7 months later, we're told that that isn't valid, the crossing agreement, and that it's our expense to move the water line. And we do not agree with that. We think that there is definitely negligent misrepresentation from the county sending a crossing agreement.
I just need to stop you for a minute. I'll let you know that you go through the chair, okay? If you could look at me, I'll deal.
I just wasn't trying to, I was trying not to be rude.
Okay. I didn't want anybody to feel targeted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Providing a crossing agreement and then coming back 7 months later and saying that it wasn't the right crossing agreement and that the approvals officer didn't have the authority to give us that agreement. The crossing agreement not being the right agreement is definitely negligent misrepresentation. And then having someone who doesn't have the authority to provide crossing agreements that is negligence upon the county's part as well. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone is under the clear understanding in regard to this project and what it has actually cost our farm in regard to production.
Okay.
I don't know if council understands how soft fruit production works for a season. Does anyone have any understanding as to what it takes to attain stock? So the stock has to be ordered by the end of November, the year prior to production. So with this issue, we will not be in production this season. And we just wanted to make sure that council is clear on what this entire situation has caused for our farm. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any questions from anything you've heard here today? Councillor Kopp?
So I guess the question would be, are the landowners actually okay with what we're looking to approve here? Because what we're looking to approve is an application to relocate the rural water line. Through the chair.
They're here, we can ask them. You've signed an application. We have this application in front of us. Are you aware of what you're applying for?
We were, regarding the development application, we would also like to ask that we attain the $2,100 back of the extra fees that were charged to us, because we weren't under the understanding that we were supposed to have a development permit. We met with Shannalee and the fall of 2022. And when we left that meeting, we were under the understanding that because the greenhouses are non-permanent structures, that we didn't need a development permit for those structures. And with the shop, it was an ag building, so we didn't think we needed a permit for that as well. So we haven't been operating under the intention of being malicious or doing things under code.
Okay.
I've submitted all the one calls. We've been in contact with Russ, and Russell was amazing to work with. He's always been good. It's just the fact that, yeah, I think it's just a part of what's been recommended is that we pay the full amount to reallocate that water line.
We'll, I can advise you that fees are set by council, so we can't deal with fees at the Municipal Planning Commission level. That would be a separate letter, request,
Sure.
whatever you want to.
Understood, thank you.
Go forward with that. Today, we're dealing with this application that you have obviously signed and put forward for us to deal with.
If we didn't submit it, we were told that there would be a stop order and they would come out and take down our greenhouses, so.
Which
yes.
would be the natural next step.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there any further questions? Yes, Councillor Screed.
Yeah, a question for staff. As far as the ag buildings, what's the nature of these buildings versus, say, putting up a barn or something like that? Is there any difference here with these buildings compared to another ag type building?
So for the shop and in discussions with the applicant and lots of discussions about ag buildings most recently, because their shop and their structure is used for storage of equipment, storage of products, it's not continually inhabited by people, by workers, so on and so forth. This building does fall under the same classification as any other storage shed, ag building type structure that we've heard about here at Municipal Planning Commission. The reason that this ag building does require a development permit is twofold. Well, first, it's on top of a registered easement, and second, it was built too close to the property line. So our land use bylaw currently exempts agricultural buildings from the requirement of a development permit when they meet the standards of development of that district, of the Ag Gen district. And that means the setbacks mainly are the main things, also height restrictions, so on and so forth. This particular application doesn't meet the front yard variance of 30 meters, so that's what would have triggered the necessity for development permit for the shop. For the greenhouses, that is an ag intensive use. The applicant did mention a meeting in 2022, and we do know that our development officer did follow up that meeting with an email stating that yes, in fact, they were an ag intensive operation and a permit would be required for the greenhouses as well.
Thank you. Then I have a question also to staff. Mrs. Burton mentioned that a crossing agreement was received, and is that in fact correct?
Yes, that is correct. So our approvals officer did not issue, sent a copy of our crossing agreement, and the crossing agreement that he sent entails the ability of a buried utility to cross at a location one of our water lines. It's what we use if a CNRL were to be crossing TELUS, Fortis, ATCO, anybody crossing one of our buried utilities. The application was received back from the applicant, just signed off, but was never approved.
Catherine, Mrs. Burton's, there you go.
We were never notified that that was not approved,
Okay,
the crossing agreement.
Councillor Screever.
Message for staff, or question for staff. How come the crossing agreement was sent to the Burtons? If it's there was no underground cabling or anything like that, I can see where there could be some issues with what the crossing agreement actually meant if it was sent to them, but it didn't seem like it applied in this case.
No, it didn't apply in this case, and unfortunately, I don't have all the history of why it wasn't approved. I mean, it was a number of years ago. We have record retention policies, things that are records, and things that aren't records. So, you know, without being a fly on the wall, I can't say exactly why that crossing agreement was sent and issued and said, hey, this might be what you're looking for. I can't answer that question.
We didn't ask for a crossing agreement. Your approvals officer said we needed one and sent it to us. So we have full faith that your staff understands what their duties are and what it is that they're sending us. And I'm not too sure how we're supposed to know that the documents that are being sent to us are not valid.
Yeah, I kind of understand everything that's happened here. The crossing agreement, it's a real stretch to think that placing a building on top of the water line is a crossing agreement.
Well,
Other than just the ability to drive over top of a pipeline, which happens millions of times every day, but that, yeah, I think that was a gross misinterpretation of what happened, and I think our staff handled it. Who would even imagine that you would assume a crossing agreement was for a building? That's my question.
So your question is, how were we?
Respond to that. Did anybody tell you that the crossing agreement was just for a pipeline, or, I mean, you've got other...
No. No, we were sent the crossing agreement. He said that's what we would need. He was talking to the construction crew on the day that we started the build. And he marked the water line because it's a pole build so that we would be away from the water line with the pole structure. And then asked to have that sent back in, which I did, signed and dated, and it ties to the line locate that we submitted for the build. And I think that's my point, is when the county is sending us a document, how are we supposed to know it's not for what they say they're sending it for?
Good question.
As you mentioned, fees are something we would deal at a council meeting,
That's
not
right.
an MPC meeting. So I would like to go ahead and make the motion to approve this application with the variance.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the application? Seeing no hands, I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion? And that is carried. Thank you both for coming in today and answering our questions.
Thanks for having us.
Very much appreciated.
Thanks for your time.
Subdivisions, 8.1 on the agenda. Maria, good morning.
Good morning. I'm just going to pull up the map really quick. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. This subdivision is in Division 1, directly south of the hamlet of Rolling Hills. The applicant would like to subdivide a 6.19 acre parcel from the northeast of 36-1414 to separate the homestead from the farmland. Access to the proposed parcel is from Highway 875, and then the remnant parcel is accessed also from 875 and from Township Road 150. There is a house and a barn located on the proposed subdivision. The buildings meet the required setbacks for the residential rural land use district. The house is serviced by an open discharge system for wastewater and the regional water line for potable water. The applicant intends to update the septic disposal system to a septic field so that it will meet the Alberta Safety Code standard. There are wetlands on the parcel to be subdivided, but they're not located within the proposed subdivision. The information from Alberta, from the Alberta government also indicates there's no environmentally or historically significant areas. The subdivision authority bylaw does state that MPC may only approve one subdivision on an unsubdivided quarter section of land within the agriculture land use district. Because this would be considered the third parcel out, the applicant is working through a land use amendment to change this to residential. So that received first reading at council, and now it's being circulated for a public hearing. There were no concerns raised by adjacent landowners or internal departments. Alberta Transportation has indicated that a 20-meter service road shall be dedicated and constructed along the highway frontage as shown on the plan that they sent. The service road shall be dedicated by plan of survey and clearly delineated on the final survey as service road. Alberta Health Services indicated that they would like to ensure that each residential property has a legal source of potable drinking water and that their septic systems meet the Alberta Safety Code standard. Fortis responded that easements will be required for this subdivision. Yesterday, however, they called back and they had discussed with the landowner, and that is no longer one of their requirements. And the EID has their standard conditions for the continued use of EID water. So it is recommended that this subdivision be approved with the conditions that outstanding property taxes be paid, that the applicant supplies any utility right-of-ways, easements, or agreements to the county prior to finalization, that the applicant enters into a development agreement with the county, and then in response to Alberta Transportation, I did discuss their requirements because this sounded or a lot more than what we're typically used to. However, they did say that they would like the 20-meter wide service road to be dedicated along the highway frontage. So that would be similar to what is what was required from these parcels to the south. So this road will move up. That will become service road. So it won't be as a caveat. It will be as a dedicated service road. However, the construction of the service road isn't required at this time. So the condition I'm recommending, which is a change from what's in your package, is that the 20-meter wide service road be dedicated along the highway frontage and the applicant enter into a development agreement with the county for the construction of the service road to a suitable standard when the road is required. And then the condition that the land use amendment bylaw be passed by council. And one more addition is that the septic system be altered so that it meets the Alberta Safety Code requirement. Municipal reserve is also required in this instance as it does not meet the provisions of the MGA to be exempt. So it is recommended that money in place of land be taken on the subdivision for the amount of approximately $6,510.40. That's all.
Thank you, Maria. I have a question to start off with. To your item 4, your condition 4, what will trigger that road allowance being required? That is not clear to me. Thank you.
That's also a question that I had asked Alberta Transportation. So there is no clear trigger at this point. Should the highway ever be widened, if they are doing any sort of construction in the area, and at that time they may decide that they need to remove one of those approaches, then that will be the trigger. So what will happen, should MPC approve that condition as written, that a development agreement will be put on the title of that property. And then once Alberta Transportation, decides to remove that approach, then that will trigger that development agreement to come into effect. And the county will then work with the landowner to have that service road built or come up with an alternative method of access to that property. And I did discuss that with the landowner, and they were fine with that.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Dirksen, I saw your hand earlier, and then Baumgarten.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman. Can you just indicate on that map exactly, not exactly, but generally where that service road right away would go? Is it all the way inside of the yellow line? Or is it that line there?
So it would be, this is the current property line where the yellow line is. So right. The service road then would come in 20 meters, so it would be approximately here. So they would lose this land here to road plan. So then once this subdivision is finalized and registered at land titles, the new property line will run this way and then over here.
Follow up. And because of the size of those parcels, nothing can be built on those two lots then without a development permit. Is that correct?
Yes. So the land use amendment will change this from agriculture to rural residential. So then there will be no permit or no development that would be exempt. So there would be, the requirement of a development permit. And to that point, it also means that the setback would be that much further into the property, because the property line, it will now be here. So that 30 meters then is, an additional 20 meters into the property, if that makes sense. Because this property line will now be here. And so then any development from this line will have to be 30 meters or whatever's approved by Alberta Transportation.
Right, thank you.
Councillor Baumgarten.
Yeah, thanks for looking into this. It's a great job. I obviously had some questions before, but I have answered them well. The one question on that condition 4, I have also spoken with Larry and Rochelle. They have an access to the north. So if such time that transport wants this caveat or whatever enacted, like, okay, we need to build this now you're on the hook to pay for it. Is there an alternative? I think, and you had sort of mentioned an alternative, like could this trigger formalizing the access on Township Road 150 to the north? Because there is one there right now. It's not used as extensively as the driveway that you see running east-west, but there is a constructed access as part of the drainage program with the EID. So there's a way to get onto the property from the north rather than build a service road adjacent to 875. So just curious if that is possible, if we can slightly alter for, or at least provide for alternatives. I don't know if that's possible or if it makes sense.
I think the development agreement will indicate that this service road would be built. However, at that time, be it 5 years, 10 years down the road, if there's an opportunity to come, from this area, provided that it's a direct access to this parcel and not through a neighboring parcel, I think that could be something that's discussed with municipal services at the time, and always dependent on what is happening at that time. And in discussions with the landowner, and they know this as well, this portion of road here is still highway. So that also would be a discussion with Alberta Transportation. But at that time, they may be amendable to adding an approach this way and not this way. So there's opportunity at that time.
Councillor Screever, please.
So are we moving the, is the property line being moved right away here? So that means that if the Alberta Transportation wants to widen that road or whatever they need to do, I'm thinking that it would be to the discretion of the client whether they want to build that road or not. You know, if they want to go from the north, that makes a lot of sense and would save a lot of heartache and money. So yeah, no, I think that works well. Alberta Transportation will get that land, and I think it makes sense.
Oh, I'm chair. Councillor Dirksen, then I'll have a question.
Good. Thank you. Through the chair, you indicated that the road to the north is also a numbered provincial highway. Is that correct? And there is a legal access to that property off that highway now? Is that the case?
As far as I'm aware, the legal access is from the east highway, and there's nothing coming from the north.
So to follow up, would that 20-meter setback apply to the north side of this property, this subdivision, if there was if the access from the north was recognized as a legal access?
Go ahead, Maria.
That's a good question because the referral that we got from Alberta Transportation does say 20 meters of highway footage. But what's not shown is they included a map, and that shows only the highway footage that's to the east. So the requirement for 20 meters doesn't come from the north. It's just to the east along the property line.
Just to follow up, and that's because of the access to both properties from the frontage road, right? Today, the consideration for the access from the north just applies to the new subdivision, and the access to the smaller remnant parcel would still be from the east, from the 875, correct? And then wouldn't require that 20-meter offset.
Yes, that's correct. So if I think that this is legible now. So as you can see, when these two parcels were subdivided, and I think that was in the late 70s or 80s, they required that service road. So you can see that it kind of jogs up. So that's why this requirement for this new parcel now is to continue that potential service road going forward. So the Alberta Transportation did indicate that only this, only the proposed new parcel is where the service road may need to be constructed for access to this. That requirement isn't on those two. So there is an access that goes, it's just south of this proposed parcel that goes into this lot here. So there may at that time, if it ever happens, be an opportunity to either widen this approach or create a short service road into this parcel. So, and that will have to be discussed at that time based on the policy of the day.
And my question, Maria, is going back to your other map. It's quite a shape, hey? You know how yeah. Why is that not a 90-degree angle at the bottleneck there? On both sides, actually, yeah. Can you tell me what's happening there? There's always something happening, but I just want to know.
I don't really have an answer for that. This one is the existing property line, so that's why that's like that. My assumption is this will follow a new pivot. Yeah, okay, because it will follow the new pivot.
Okay, so it's the pivot fault again. All right. Right. All right. So we have an application. Looks like staff has worked through the best case scenarios for us. How do you wish to handle it? Councillor Baumgarten.
I'll make the motion to approve as presented.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? That is carried then. Thank you. We had no post-agenda items. Catherine, any questions in the queue? Any questions around the table? Seeing none. Motion, I'll adjourn the meeting. Oh, are we going in camera? All right. I skipped right over that. I won't adjourn the meeting. I'll accept a motion to go in camera, though. Councillor Reeve Dirksen, thank you. All in favor of the motion? That is carried.
I will call this meeting to order. May 7th, 2026, our regular council meeting. And we have Councillor Holly Johnson is not here today. Does someone make a motion to excuse Councillor Johnson from the meeting? Councillor Kopp. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. We have the minutes of the April 23rd, 2026 council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions or changes needed? And if not, a motion to approve as circulated would be in order. Councillor Baumgarten makes a motion to approve as circulated. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Post-agenda items. What do we have in terms of post-agenda items? I have two that I'm going to suggest that we revisit the discussion on the top 7 over 70 as post-agenda, as well as a discussion about Bill 28 as a post-agenda item. Are there any other post-agenda items? So if we can make those, what, 12A and, well, 12.1, 12.2. Any other post-agenda items? Seeing none, a motion to approve the agenda as we have discussed. Councillor Christman, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. We have an audience in our room this morning. Are there any questions or notices of motion? Questions from the public or notices of motion from council? Seeing none, we'll move on. Let's move to, we'll power through our agenda. We have a little bit of time to make up, but I think we're going to do that this morning too. So let's start with 7.1 bylaw 211.26 road closure. Maria, thank you for staying with us, and I invite you to take us through that, please.
Thank you. This application today is for a road closure in the Patricia area, Division 3, 5 kilometers northeast of Patricia, and we are looking for second and third reading. All parcels in the area are zoned agriculture, and the total road allowance requested to be closed is 2.4 kilometers and includes 12 acres of land. The applicant would like to close the road allowance to restrict public access, as they have been having problems with trespassing on their land. A public hearing was held and there was no objections to the proposed road closure. We received Alberta Transportation approval on April 10th, and it is recommended that council give second and third reading to this bylaw.
Thank you for that, Maria. We've had an explanation. Councillor Johnson, are you prepared to move second reading?
Yes, I am.
I appreciate that. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Someone similarly prepared to move third reading? Councillor Hofer?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried as well. Thank you, Maria. With that, let's move to 7.2, bylaw 2126-26, the Newell Regional Emergency Management Partnership, third readings and agreement. Go ahead.
So this is first reading. I'm willing to support council in their efforts to move quickly through this and deal with this one just as quickly as the one that you just dealt with.
We'll put you up to it, yeah.
Anyhow, this matter is brought back to council. There's some history involved with this one. In 2020, council of the day approved an arrangement to enter into a regional emergency management partnership agreement that included the county, Bassano, Rosemary, and Dutchess. In 2025, the city of Brooks had expressed interest in coming into that partnership arrangement. The original bylaw that was approved in 2020 was modified to provide for the city of Brooks to enter into that arrangement. Each of the 5 municipalities approved a bylaw to make that change possible. When it went to the ministry that is responsible for issuing a ministerial approval endorsing the agreement and partnership, They came back and said that there were some further revisions that were required because of recent changes that had taken place in legislation. What you have before you now is consistent with the most recent legislation, and we're requesting that 3 readings be given to this bylaw. It's just going to formalize the partnership that's already in place. It will formally bring the city of Brooks into that arrangement. It has been circulated to each of the other partner municipalities. The village of Rosemary has already given 3 readings to their new bylaw. If council has some specific questions that relate to what you have before you, we can attempt to answer those at this time.
Thank you. Lane, are there any questions from council with regard to this matter? Councillor Crispin, please.
I think I just want to ask, where were the changes? And you had to know somebody would ask that.
Yeah. Yes, and good question. There were a number of them that were made. Usually we bring back a track change version that identifies them, but there were several that were required throughout. What the ministry identified was that we needed to make changes in the way that the Director of Emergency Management position was filled. In the original agreement, each municipality appointed the same individual, the Newell Regional Fire Chief, as their Director of Emergency Management. This new arrangement requires each municipality to have their own Director of Emergency Management, so they are appointing their own staff member to that position. And when there is an event of a regional nature, then the county's regional fire chief, who is the county's Director of Emergency Management, is elevated to the level of regional Director of Emergency Management. So that's one of the changes that was made. Others, we had to change the rules for quorum within the Emergency Advisory Committee. Previously, it was a minimum of 4 members that were required. The recommendation was they wanted us to simply state the majority of members present, because in the event of an emergency, chances are you're not going to have everybody there, and it's whoever's there, hands on deck. It's the majority of individuals that are present that needs to constitute quorum. We had to clarify the role of the Regional Emergency Advisory Committee and the agency. It was necessary to make sure that there was a clear delineation of responsibilities between those 2 bodies and the relationship between those 2 and the Director of Emergency Management. So there were a number of changes that we had to make. I can circulate to you a fairly extensive document that outlines all of those changes if that's what you're wanting.
I'm fine with that. I just needed to know what kind of situation we were looking at, unless somebody else wants it. I'm willing to make a motion for first reading.
Thank you. We have a motion for first reading. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I will put the question to council that we approve first reading of motion bylaw, bylaw 2126-26. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Similarly, second reading, someone prepared to make that motion. Councillor Screever.
I'll make a motion for second reading.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. And to deal with third reading today, we need a motion for consent to third reading. Councillor Scandrup. All in favor of the motion that we move to third reading? Consent for third reading is passed. Thank you. And then similar 7.2.4, a motion to approve third reading. Councillor Baumgarten. Thank you. All in favor of approving third reading? That is carried. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Lane?
appreciate that. Are you wanting to deal with the Vulcan Mutual Aid while we're here? Okay.
No, carry that later. We came close, Lane. Thanks. Okay, let's move on to item 9, agriculture services business. Remind council that we do have a delegation at 11:30. Welcome. Candace and Catherine, yes.
Yes, so I will give a quick update on what we've been up to, and then Candace will give us an update for CDC. So our team has all arrived, so we hired 4 seasonal VMTs, 1 new ag tech, 7 seasonal laborers, and our Emerson Bridge Park supervisor has started. Emerson Bridge Park is opening on May 14th, and county campout is this weekend, so the team has been busy down there getting Emerson ready. So we've been doing lots of soil erosion surveys. I've been out there conducting quite a few soil surveys in the Scandia, Rolling Hills, and Castles area. Just when we think we're done, another wind comes and we're back at it. So hoping this kind of comes to an end when we get some green on the fields. So spoke with quite a few landowners about cleaning out ditches, and they have been really cooperative and have been doing this with confirmed contractors. So they are currently working on that. I was out there earlier this week and it's looking really good. So they're putting the topsoil back in the field where it came from. So compound 1080 coyote control. So there's a little bit new protocol that the government of Alberta put forward. So producers now have to hold a farmer applicator certificate and do a compound 1080 applicator certificate from Lakeland College. And this can take up to a month to receive, which isn't ideal when you have a predation call come in and you want to deal with a problem coyote right away. So we've been acting as applicators to do this. So that we can do it as soon as possible. So we've worked with one landowner so far that had a confirmed predation, so a baby calf was killed. So we went out with the producer, we buried 3 single-dose compound 1080s, and we were happy to report that all 3 doses were consumed, and there's been no predation and no more problem coyotes, so we take that as a win. You guys have probably heard a little bit about strychnine. That's been kind of in the social media, and so there's been emergency use approval for strychnine that was approved until November 2027. We haven't received a lot of confirmed information on this. We have confirmed that there is a first shipment of limited quantity to arrive in late May to early June, so that's when the county will see it. We're supposed to receive 2 more shipments throughout the season, but it's going to be very limited quantity. So we have a strychnine list that we've started. There's about 50 producers on this list so far that have called in and inquired about strychnine. So producers are going to have to take an online training. This training expires in September of 2026, and then they're going to have to redo this training again for the season of 2027 if they're wanting strychnine. So we don't have a concrete plan as of yet, but our hope is to have producers set up and ready for the season of 2027, as it's a little bit late when we get the strychnine for coyote controls, or gopher control. So, yeah. Southern Alberta Grazing School is coming to the County of Newell this year. I'm sitting on that committee, so that's super exciting. July 22nd to 23rd. We have some local women that are going to be speaking. And Todd volunteered our team to be cooking steak supper out there. So Pasture Power Up is taking place on June 24th in Patricia, so be sure to register with Foothills Forage if you are wanting to attend that event. Downy brome season is here, so our crew has been out identifying and controlling it already, and we're excited to work with partners and landowners to control it this season. And contract spraying is to start next week and continue on for the rest of May and probably a little bit into June. We're a little bit delayed just because of the late snow. So, and CDC, Candace will speak more on this, but we have 8 land use partners between research and unutilized land. Lendrum seeding is to take place in late May, and June 18th is the CDC Newell Summit, which Candace and Todd have been busy planning, so Candace will give an update on that.
Thank you, Catherine. Go ahead, Candace.
Thank you. Yeah, so we do have all of our tender agreements are now out for our unutilized land. We were able to make some new partnerships through those agreements, which is pretty exciting that they didn't just go back to the same people who've been using the land over and over again. So it's great to have those new partnerships. And then, as Catherine mentioned, we have our CDC Ag Summit on June 18th and 19th. It's a one-day summit, and then the 19th is going to be available for personalized one-on-one tours if anyone is interested in that. So the whole focus of this was to bring together all of the people we've talked to, everyone who's interested, everybody who's worked at the CDC, is working at the CDC, or wants to work at the CDC together and bring those ideas to a place of collaboration. So the focus is really on that networking and collaboration piece. So we plan on having 3 panel discussions. The first one is going to be an applied research in greenhouse and controlled growing environments. This has been, we've applied for a sponsorship through RINSA, through Lethbridge Polytechnic. So RINSA is the Regional Innovation Network of Southern Alberta. And IATC through Lethbridge Polytech is taking the lead on planning this session. So that is Alexis Buzzy and her team that has been using our greenhouse. So we have a meeting with them to discuss who they are going to have on their panel. They're also going to sponsor the morning networking break with snacks and such. The second panel is going to be funding opportunities for research. This panel is going to be sponsored by Apex Regional Innovation Network. Tracy Stroud will likely be moderator of this, although it's to be confirmed following our meeting tomorrow. And then we've also talked to David Hoekstra to coordinate with Ardar to have them on as one of our panelists. And then we're also hoping Prairies can lend us somebody for the day. And we were thinking possibly a private lender to have on the panel as well, just as a different scope. And then our third panel is going to be sponsored by the county. And this one is going to be Bridging the Gap, Applying Research to the Farm. And this is going to be a discussion with research, industry, and then either a producer or academia to work on answering the real world scenarios and what's needed, where are we missing the mark, and how to bring all of those pieces together. Then later on in the day, so all those sessions are going to take place at Medicine Hat College, just because we figured 10 hours outside might just be too much outside time. So after the third panel is over, we're going to have some tours happen, and we're going to move back to the CDC where we'll have a big, large tent set up, and the rest of the evening and afternoon is going to take place outside. So once we get back to the CDC and have some tours, we've asked Alexis Buzzy and Bill Hammond as our first 2 tenants to talk on why the CDC, what makes it special, why, give your faith to us kind of thing. And we want them to highlight the ease of access to the whole experience. We have confirmed that Minister Sigurdsson will be our keynote speaker, and we will have Reeve Dirksen introduce him that afternoon. And then following the presentations, we're going to have a big networking break. We're going to have dinner provided by the Brooks Hotel. We're going to have live music. We're going to have some yard games set up. So we thought maybe the best way to bring people together is to have activities. So we're going to have some cornhole and some axe throwing toss and stuff like that, just to make it fun. And then we'll also have a cash bar. So our goal is this networking and collaboration and just bringing people together. And so we wanted to make it fun as well. And we will have shuttle services available to the hotels. So that's our day. And then the next day people will be able to sign up for personalized tours if they want to take a closer look at a certain part of the facility that they didn't fully get to see the day before.
Great. Thanks for that explanation and for the report this morning. And just to summarize, basically, the focus of this, though, of the field day is to bring together people who have been or are interested in using the facility as opposed to just a public field day, correct?
Yeah, so that's our focus right now is we're we're really, you know, targeting it towards the research community, the academia. And then, you know, once we hit those markets, then we're open to expanding it a little bit. But right now our focus is definitely keeping it into the users, potential users.
Appreciate that explanation. Are there any, is your report complete, Catherine? Good. Any questions? Councillor Kopp, please.
What do they call the strychnine course that you have to take? Is there a title for it?
I'm not sure the exact name of it, but it's through the Saskatchewan, can't remember the exact title of it, but we're going to push it out through social media of the exact name. And so this was available on May 4th for producers to take. So we're going to push it on through social media. We just are trying to come up with a concrete plan because we don't know the number of strychnine that we're going to get and how we're going to distribute it to the producers that. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Baumgarten, please.
And just to confirm, hopefully if producers do take the training, they'll be good for next year, or they have to take the training again, I think you had said, so.
Yes, so the training is an online training and it expires in September of 2026, and then you are required to do it for the 2027 season as well. And as of right now, the emergency use approval is only approved till November 1st of 2027, and we haven't heard if going forward. So that's why we're kind of hoping that to get everything set up and for producers to be set up for 27 so that they're getting kind of the best bang for their buck on the strychnine. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you for that. But let's move on to item 9.2, which is also the Rural Beautification Awards, to review the policy and assign a council judge. This is as it was in the past, Catherine. I don't think there's any changes to that program, right? It's just a matter of making a motion to approve that, and there is a motion laid out for us in item 9.2.1. Pardon me, yes. 9.2.1 is the particular motion, but in order for that to go forward, we need someone to be appointed or volunteer as a judge for the Rural Beautification Award. Is there anyone that is willing to volunteer for that?
The only thing I was just going to make note of is judging. We have here for the 16th and 17th, but the ASB Summer Tour is taking place on the 14th to the 16th, and Todd and I are attending that along with, I think, 3 other counselors. So just, it was maybe suggested that we do the judging on the 17th, but if that doesn't work, then we can make other arrangements.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for that. Anybody prepared to volunteer to be the judge for that? Councillor Chrisman.
It's been many years since I've been on that tour, and I am going to Wheatland on the 16th, but I would be available the 17th.
Well, I appreciate that. Seeing not a lot of competition around the table right now for that, I appreciate your volunteering to do that. And with that information, is someone prepared to make a motion that is outlined for us in 9.2.1? Councillor Kopp?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that the policy 2506 or 2526 be adopted as presented, and that Councillor Chrisman be our council judge for the Rural Beautification Awards.
Thank you for that. Any further questions? All in favor, please move. Or same, yeah. Indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, Catherine and Candace, for coming in. Any other comments? Or?
Got one more.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, 9.3. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is to also pick a date and pretty much, yeah, just pick a date and what you guys, so I can speak a little bit on this if you want, or, okay. So the ASB team of the Alberta government has committed to visiting municipalities across the province each season. They go to 15 municipalities, and this year is our year for a visit. So typically we meet in the morning for like an hour visit, and then Todd or myself takes them out on a tour. So the group is requesting to visit on one day between June 23rd and July 15th. But if that doesn't work for you guys, then we can schedule it up into September. So whatever works best for the group. So yeah, we kind of get the opportunity to do this every 5 years. It's kind of a great opportunity to show off what the wonderful program that we do and what the ASB grant covers. So the day starts with a quick meeting with Alan Effa that comes out, talks with the Ag Service Board, and then we tour them after that. So we're recommending that we meet, you guys come in for a 9 o'clock early on a council meeting so that you're not making an extra trip into town. And then your council meeting would start at 10, and then we would continue on with the tour after that. So.
Thank you for that explanation and also the efficiency in our travel time and time spent, but that's excellent. So does someone have a suggestion? And you'll see that option 1 is June 25th, option 2 is July 9th, and option 3 is some other date of our choice. But I like that idea, and I'm pretty flexible. What's council's wish? Do you have a preference, June or July?
Doesn't matter to us, whatever works best for you guys. We'll work around you guys.
Okay. Councillor Baumgarten?
I'll move for option 1, June 25th.
Thank you. That's also 4 days after the longest day of the year, so this country will be looking good. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Councillor Screen.
Yeah, I won't be available on the 25th. I'll be here I won't be here for council, but I'll be attending by Zoom or whatever it's called. Okay. If the 9th works, that's better for me, but I don't want to step on anybody else's toes.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Kopp.
Same with me. I will be online on the 25th, so the 9th would be better for me as well.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion on the floor that we can either pass or defeat, or we can change it if we want to. But Councillor Baumgarten,
I'll change it to the 9th, option 2.
Option 2, okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Sorry, I got ahead of myself before, but I think now we're complete. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And for the information. With that, we're running slightly late for our delegation, but we have the Brooks, gotta get the name right here, Housing Society. Merrick, welcome, and with your delegation, and I think we'll start with introductions. So welcome here, and we'll start with Councillor Johnson on this side, and yeah. Oh, you need a hand to circulate those? Thank you. Let's proceed with introductions. Go ahead, Councillor Johnson.
Good morning. I'm Neil Johnson, Division 7 Councillor.
Good morning, Adina Scandrip, Division 2, the hamlet of Tilly and surrounding area.
Morning, Ben Hofer, Duchess, Division 8.
Good morning. We all know each other pretty good, but I'm Greg, Division 5.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Chrisman, Division 6, the northwest side of the county.
Arno Dirksen, Division 9, the gem in the rural Rosemary area.
Welcome back. Matt Fensky, CAO.
Hi there, Dan Baumgarten, Rolling Hills, Div 1.
Good morning, I'm Lynette Kopp, Division 3, Patricia Millicent area.
Good morning, Ariana Nielsen, Executive Assistant.
Hello, Catherine Siakla, Communications Officer.
Good morning, Sandra Stanway, Brooks Bulletin.
And I'm Dwayne Perkins with the Newell Housing, and I'm the treasurer.
Good morning, I'm Mara Nesbitt, and I'm the Brooks Housing Society's property manager. That's the hat I'm wearing today.
And good morning, I'm Lord Schrader, and I'm a director with the society.
Thank you for coming in today. You'll recall that we had thank you. We had the Brooks Housing Society in a few months ago, and I think welcome back today. I think a more specific discussion and maybe ask today. So go ahead, Meryl. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the REEV and CAO Matt for this opportunity to return to your table to discuss our request. Our chairman, Red Radke, sends his regrets, and joining me today are board members Dwayne Perkins and Lawrence Schrader. I'm Mara Nesbitt, as we've already talked about. We all understand the importance of having adequate housing for our communities to thrive and to grow. For future and existing businesses, their employees need safe, affordable housing to keep them in our communities. How many times have we all read or heard of scenarios where lack of housing postponed or had new businesses go on to other communities to set up shop? So housing is a very key component for economic growth and development. At our last meeting here, we noted that we had over 200 applications at the time for our affordable housing. That number has increased by an additional 23 applications. Of the 200 plus, there are 98 applications from families waiting for our level of funding and support in housing. They are looking for that safe, affordable housing. One sad case I want to share is a mother and her 12-year-old daughter came in, and they're currently living in a bedroom in a house in Brooks. 2 other men live in the other 2 bedrooms of that home, and they're not family members. They must share a bathroom and a kitchen, and they have no other options than to spend most of their time in their small bedroom. The mom works at Tim Hortons. They are just one of the desperate group that we see come in to apply at our Brooks Housing Society. Our tenants are not freeloaders, they are the working poor. Our reduced rent gives them the opportunity to get caught up financially so that they're better positioned to transition into market rentals rather than being stuck in the cycle of poverty forever. If we get the ability to get our phase 3 off the ground, which we gave a presentation on previously, families in our current site will have more children, will move over, and a mom such as the one mentioned will take on that 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom unit, and the shuffle will begin. We did not at our last meeting with council do a formal ask. We came with the idea of providing a comprehensive background to the council so that they would know about the Brooks Housing Society and what our phase 3 was all about. We were working on being ready for the next round of grant openings. As we had mentioned previously, we were unable to meet the criteria of our 5% equity partnership as the grant application closed January 31st, and unfortunately we only heard about that requirement through the consultants we had hired to complete the application 5 days prior to the grant closing, which gave us no opportunity to reach out to our area at that time. But things have changed. I was able to attend the ASHA, Alberta Seniors and Community Housing Association conference a few weeks ago, and there were several of your council there as well. And I had the opportunity to go to the mic to address Minister Jason Nixon, and he's the Minister of Assisted Living and Social Services. The major part of his portfolio is affordable housing. I explained what was happening in Brooks and area and our grant situation. He suggested immediately that I speak to his Assistant Deputy Minister, David Williams, which I did. And before I got even back to Brooks, I had 2 staff members from the Housing Capital programs contact me, and I went through that scenario again. They suggested I send up the information we had in place, continue to work on getting the equity partnerships. They will review the information, make sure it is tracking properly, and they will take that information back directly to the minister. This opens a big door of opportunity to get this project going sooner than later. We are here this time to formally ask you, the County of Newell, to partner with not only ourselves, but the City of Brooks, who has so graciously donated the land for our third phase, which amounts to approximately a $500,000 value. We know it's a tremendous ask. We understand fully the constant requests for funding the county receives, and appreciates the support that you have provided to the various groups within our region. Their ability to complete projects only further enhances our communities. So, as part of your package, I put in there a breakout of the project costs, which is estimated to be at about $7 million for 24 three-bedroom units. I would assume this will be slightly higher due to the rising costs, but that's the mark that we're setting right at this point. Our commitment to the project is $700,000 is owner equity already secured. This is our component. We carry no debt. We cover our own operating costs through rents received, and our current assets are valued at $19 million through our insurance appraisal. There's a $3 million mortgage that we're going to take out for financing as our further commitment to this project. $2.04 million is the application to the Provincial Housing Program, and I'm going to push for a little more if there's an opportunity. Don't think I won't. And $200,000 application to the CMHC for grant seed funding. The $1.06 million noted there is still needed from equity partners. We did feel that it was a big ask to request the $1 million from the county, but we would really appreciate the opportunity to have you consider the $500,000, and we would continue to find other community partnerships to get this over the mark. As a follow-up from the meeting, below is the information I shared. Then I have in your package a breakdown of the land asset value, because I thought that you might like to see how we came to a $500,000 value on the land that was donated through the city. And it's quite an extensive outline that was provided through Lisa at the city. So parcel assessment, it always shows low. The appraised value, though, is between $465.49, and it goes as high as $560,545. And so it, as we all know, this land values it's based on what people are willing to pay. So that's how the values get changed somewhat. But I do think that those are fairly consistent values, because we do have land sales that, that came in at about $469,000 for comparable properties. So with the City of Brooks' guarantee of the land for all of our previous two builds, they've always given us the land. And we have noted in our titles that should the Brooks Housing Society ever fold, that the project and the land would go back to the City of Brooks. I tag that commitment in the back of your financial statement that I provided in your package. I know you probably won't want to look at the financial statement, but I think it's a good key component of the direction we take. We will return that to the city for $1 at the back if we should not go forward. We would like to offer the same guarantee to the County of Newell, that should our Brooks Housing Society ever fold, that it would be noted on our title that the $500,000 that we're requesting would be returned to the County of Newell. We do not require these dollars immediately. We would just require a letter of commitment to include in our package. The process is still in place, and should our project not proceed, we will release the county from this obligation, of course. So at this point, I thank you very, very much for your time and consideration of our request.
Thank you for that presentation, Mayor. Are there questions? I have one. What best case scenario, what do you expect the build, when would this go ahead? And
well, if we got our grant approvals, we could get this we could get it started this fall. We are working with Jayco Homes, and of course it would depend on how many commitments they've taken on, because we haven't been able to commit to them at this point until we get our grant dollars approved. So that's what we would hope, and if not, it would be next year for sure.
yeah, and at some point into that, you would be that would be the timeline for the,
Yes,
if the
yeah,
county
definitely.
approved this, let's say. Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Screever.
Just with respect to the land in kind, what would be the value of the city of Brooks for the land?
500,000.
500, okay.
That kind of scenario that I threw out with the land appraisal value, that's where it has such a range, but we chose 500,000 as the middle mark.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Chrisman, please.
So at our presentation, I guess it's an after effect question from that other presentation. Why is it that such a high number of residents work at JBS? Does anybody have an answer for that question?
Why do they work at JBS? It's
Yeah, and they're paid and paid promptly and on time, and they're credible. That's a credible company in our community. Why does such a high number of your residents work out at JBS?
I think it's the income levels. Like we are at a lower income level. They can make, like our commitment is through the government income thresholds, and they can only make, for a one bedroom, they can only make 51,500. And 2-bedroom is 60,000 and 3-bedroom is 64,000. And that's a combined income for those families, and they don't make that because one family member will go out and work for part of like one shift. They come home and they may work a part shift, or they may be working at Tim Hortons or Walmart or one of these other areas of lower income, unfortunately. But thank goodness.
Thanks
we've got
for
that.
helping me to understand.
Does that give you some
I
confirmation?
think
there?
so.
Okay.
It's- But it's good to know your low level too, the 61,000.
We have a lot of single moms that they do work out at JBS, and they're there trying to support maybe 2-3 kids and try to get them into a higher level of education. I've seen that in our scenario. We've had a couple of people that have actually been able to gain that little bit of extra money by working together. They pool it and they get, I'm talking husband and wife, and they've been able to buy their first home because they've saved that money.
Okay, Councillor Screever. Thanks.
Yeah, just as a follow-up to that, yeah, if you're looking at $20 an hour, I don't know what they make, what their starting salary is out at JBS. At $20 an hour, you know, roughly that's a $41,000 to $42,000 income. So I could see a single person, father or mother, that would be an issue. But if there are two breadwinners in a family, that would be a pretty decent income. So just to let everybody know what that is.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
and if it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And some of the calculations that we've done is that the single parent percentage in our complexes is about 2/3 of them are single parents.
And we're talking taxable income, so
Taxable income.
family with children, that's significantly reduced as well. So Councillor Scandra, please.
I just want to mention that as of January 2026, the child tax credit is also included as income when applying for affordable housing.
Any other questions? Sorry, I probably turned it off. Didn't mean to do that. I imagine you would have liked to know yesterday, probably, in terms of a response from us. Or what's the time frame? When does your application go in?
I would like to get that through within the 2-week period of time. Like I had to go back to the consultants and gather the information that they had put into what we thought was the application too. And I'm doing that and updating it. I'll be getting letters of confirmation or letters of support redone because they're a little older than I'd like to have current ones. So I've got a little bit of time to
But you
work
need
through
to know
this. So
sooner than later here.
yeah, sooner than later,
Okay,
unfortunately.
thanks. Any other questions? Councillor Chrisman.
Just more of a comment and my thoughts on this. I just need time to sit with it for a minute and So I hope we're not going to rush into a decision in the moment.
No, that's my question. I mean, we've had the presentation. I think that council can deal with this. Yeah, no, appreciate that. Any other questions? Dwayne, go ahead.
If I could just make one comment. Sure. What we're finding too, I'm not sure if we brought it up at the last time we were here, but what we're finding is these people that don't have or can't find low-cost housing and stuff like that, we're finding through just kind of surveys that we've done that they're leaving Brooks and they're moving to other places like, you know, maybe other small towns, or I know they're moving to Calgary and Edmonton, you know, a fair bunch of them. So, you know, that's kind of what we're trying to do, is keep them here so we do keep our employed people, right?
Create opportunity, basically, which is what that does also for our community. So, yeah. Councillor Johnson.
Just a comment, I think your project is fantastic, but with 450 new units moving into Brooks, Wellings is down there. Are we going to be able to fill all these, or may you find a little bit of competition?
I don't think we're going to have any competition in that we have the affordable housing level. The other ones are at a market rate, and the rents are quite a bit higher, and they have to also pay their utilities on top of their rents. Yeah.
You have them coming on that...
We've got this 200 applications, and they're not going anywhere. Like, we go back to them every other week and phone them and say, so are you still wanting to stay on our list? And yes, they do. I had one lady come in just the other day. She wants the 3-bedroom for her family and her children, and she's been on there. She's number 87 on this list, and she doesn't want to go off. And there's another one that came in, and they were at like 3 or 4, and they keep coming back asking, when can we come? Please, when can we come? And we can't, of course, accommodate them. So we won't have any problems filling our 3 bedrooms.
Cool.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no other questions, thank you for coming in today, and thank you for the good work you do in providing opportunity for lower cost housing in our community.
Really appreciate this time here. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Thanks. Stuart, come on. Yeah. Item 10.1. Oh. Welcome, Stuart. Go ahead.
Good morning, Reeve and Council. Thank you very much for having me in this morning. I appreciate your time. This morning I bring to you a mutual aid agreement between Vulcan County and the County of Newell. This agreement aims to renew the system of mutual aid between the two counties, enabling them to assist each other during major emergencies. The proposed fire service mutual aid agreement between the two counties is a critical step forward towards ensuring the safety of the communities in the event of a major emergency occurring in either municipality. This agreement will enable both counties, emergencies occurring collaborate and provide mutual aid support, which includes personal equipment and other resources needed to handle emergencies such as wildfires, floods, and other natural resources or disasters. This agreement renews the formal mutual aid relationship with the Vulcan County. Previous agreement was set back in 2019. There was an extensive comparison between the two documents of the existing one and the old one, with changes provided to council as an attachment. I think the most noticeable ones that are in there is limiting billing services, providing the majority of services for AMA, as well as in the agreement we switched that if this agreement were to come to an end or was going past the 5 years, it would stay in force until a new agreement was made. I felt that was pretty critical, seen as all our mutual aid agreements right now are out of date and obviously take some time to put together. With that, my request is that the council approve the updated fire service mutual aid agreement with Vulcan County as it is presented today.
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any questions? Excuse me. Seeing none, someone prepared to make a motion consistent with item 10.1.1. Councillor Kopp makes the motion to approve. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you, Stuart. Let's move on to Alcoma School Performance Stage. Matt, you're going to take that?
Yeah, I'll take that one for Lane. We'd received, I think this is just the general fundraising letter that Alcoma School has kicked out for a stage they're looking to finance. They're asking for, $500, total project cost of $15,000. We thought we'd bring it here to council, whether you want to throw $500 at this, redirect them to the local rec board first, fund the whole thing for $15 if you're feeling really generous before lunch. It's here for you. If you would like administration to request a delegation or a presentation, we can go that route as well, but it's there for your consideration.
Thanks, Matt. Go ahead, Councillor Johnson. You've got a question or a comment?
I'm in favor of funding basically the whole thing because we funded Rolling Hills, which I thought was great, and it worked out to be $400 and some bucks a kid. We had no problem doing that, so how can we possibly say no to this one?
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Kopp, please.
Do we not usually request to have the formal form filled out with all of their financials and such before we look at these?
Go ahead, Matt. Thanks for that.
Yeah, through the chair, we could go there if you want. I mean, for what it is, you've got the school looking for some infrastructure. I can probably guess what you're going to get in terms of a financial statement and what a capacity for getting the job done is internally. Yeah. So we can come back with financials if that's council's request.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Chrisman?
Well, I'm okay without financials because where do we get financials from? Grasslands? They're the operating body, right? So that can be huge. I think there should be some community input in this. Like, does the community not have a method or a means of supporting their school? If we're gonna, I tell you straight up, if we start opening the door to schools, there will be a lineup of applications for everything. I mean, I see the ag school as ag-supported, I mean, that was a different animal, if you want to talk about funding schools, comparing the two. To me, if we give them support, it would be in the line of 3 or 4 figures, low figures, because otherwise we don't know if the community is behind this or not, or if this is one person's application. Let's see what the community does with it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Scandrup.
I kind of agree with some of what Kelly says there, Councillor Chrisman says. I'd like to see some fundraising, let the kids figure out that it's a little bit of work to build their new stage and make, so that you don't just, okay, let's go to who's got the most money and ask them for it. And I'd like to see them, like I say, fundraise a little bit, do some work for it.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any information on where this is at in terms of, is this just a letter that came to us, Thanks, Councillor Baumgarten.
Yeah, just to add to that, with the Rolling Hills School, they raised probably 75% of the money themselves, essentially. So we kind of topped them off to make the barn happen. So I'm in agreement with what Councillors Chrisman and Scandrup said. It'd be nice to see the community have a little bit of skin in the game or backing to it. I certainly am not against giving them something, but agreed that there should be, make it a partnership type thing. So.
Thank you for that. I think, and to summarize it, basically you're saying we don't want to be the first one in, but we might be the last. And I think there's probably a way for us to send that message if Councillor wants to do that. And what would it be along the lines of a motion that would say we're open to considering and we want to support this project, but we would like to understand. And I'm again, I'm not writing a motion right now. I'm just saying that we don't necessarily need a presentation. We just maybe that summarizes it. We're not interested in being the first one in, but we'd consider being the last, let's say. I don't know. Councillor Johnson, and then...
What about 7,500, 50%, which is how we sponsor a lot of other things? Then community can run out and grab the other 7,500.
Which would be matching then, let's say, that would be the... But I'm not sure that we need to be... How far out ahead of this we necessarily need to be, because we haven't had any... This is the only communication we've had, so I would suggest that we maybe give it some time, but go ahead. Appreciate that.
That's along the lines of the financial I was talking about, like what have they actually done to get this, right?
Right. Okay, Councillor Chrisman?
And in our package, it does say that their very own recreation board does have money in the pot, so they haven't even reached into their own pockets yet in the community. So I think we'll take it for information at this point and invite them to do some work on it.
Okay.
I'll make that a motion.
Okay, and that we're open to further conversation on it at the appropriate time. Did you get that, Ariana? I bet you did. Thanks.
Actually, was it that we're accepting this as information at this time, and we'll get more information on fundraising efforts? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Council, it being 5 after 12, I'm going to suggest we break for lunch and reconvene at the appropriate time, probably about 1:45, maybe, if that works. Thank you. Let's go. We're up to item number
10.3, requests for functions of council.
10.3, requests for functions of council. Are there any functions of council requested by anyone? Matt, go ahead.
I will just point council's attention to, I sent an email with Town of Bassano's Small Town Smokedown. I should have this in front of me. There's 4 complimentary tickets they've offered for councilors. So if you guys want to arm wrestle.
What's the date?
I can. May 29th. Told Jeremy I'd let him know who wins the arm wrestle to go. I think it's a pretty great event.
I'd take a ticket. It's a weekend thing, right? Friday, Saturday?
The tickets for the 29th.
Okay, I'll take one. Anybody else? Okay. Sounds like I have control here. What's that? Okay, any other functions of council?
I'm in Calgary.
Seeing none, we can move on. Item number 11.1, we have our Director of Municipal Services with us. Welcome.
Good afternoon, or even council. Update from Municipal Services. Municipal Enforcement continues to do what they're doing. They're out on bike patrol here. They just started, so this will be their, I think, their 3rd time out on the bikes. They keep finding the windy days, unfortunately, but it doesn't mean that all users stay away from them. But they have their partnership going and riding those e-bikes right now under the pilot project, as we discussed in budget. So partner hourly commitments being fulfilled. Of course, camping season is going to be kicking off here pretty soon, so they'll be getting in and around through Rolling Hills Reservoir, Crawling Valley Reservoir, Emerson Park, and those sites as well. And done some joint operations along the way, partnering with Wheatland County to monitor commercial truck traffic and stuff that's been coming in and around there. We heard some things from our Wheatland counterparts over in Hussar and whatnot, so worked with them to conduct a joint operation, and then worked with the Alberta Sheriffs and City of Brooks Peace officers as well on commercial vehicles here on Silver Sage Road, checking various vehicles for compliance. Officer Ryder attended the legal studies course, so helping him out with bylaws and his development, because he came from Alberta Health Services originally, so getting him further along in his education of municipal government and how we function. And yeah, otherwise I think everything municipal enforcement world's pretty standard. We know we have irrigation season kicking off and whatnot, so they'll be monitoring our roads for compliance and stuff in that regard as well. Fleet services, we continue to assist fire and emergency services with fire apparatus. So this is 4 months in a row that they've gotten 3 fire apparatus in and out for their commercial vehicle inspections and necessary repairs and back to their respective fire halls. So happy to be doing that. And then continuing with getting everything ready for the summer season with graveling program and all of those demands. Dust abatement machinery and equipment also getting serviced, because middle of June, about the 9th this year, I think we're going to try to kick off, just because of weather conditions and rain forecasts and stuff. We try to make sure we get done before the July 1st date. And what else we got? We had all of our new units with Enterprise Fleet Management put into service. So old ones have gone for resale. Don't know about proceeds for resale yet because they haven't sold, so I'll report back on that. But I anticipate that we're continuing to serve our ratepayers well with that program and partnership. Grader operators, oh geez, you know, it was April, snow and ice, 26 degrees, dust and crummy roads. I don't know how to win. Trying to meet the expectations of our ratepayers and keep up with the ever-changing weather, but they are out there grading and taking care of things. I don't want to talk about frost boils because there's very few of them. Hopefully it stays that way. Last year, there was a ton of them. So I can't tell you. I've been here 18 years and I still don't have the magic formula on frost boils. So best of luck to anybody that does. Truck drivers, yeah, snow and ice control. What do you know? We spent 2 weekends, Friday and Saturday, out plowing snow on our paved roads, keep motorists safe and getting to their destinations. And then we've continued with the stockpiling program, and they'll also start moving into addressing soft spots on our roads as things develop and change for us. Additionally, they were sweeping our paved roads and started to clean bridge decks and stuff in advance of the crack sealing program and other programs that we have coming here in early spring. Maintenance operators, snow fence, got a phone call the other day. When are you guys getting around to get to? Well, if it ever stops snowing and getting moisture where we aren't stuck in your field with our equipment, we'd love to have it all removed already. But I think we only had 3 locations left to get done, and that'll be happening here in short order with the seasonals being onboarded recently. Hamlet roads, county admin parking lot, CDC sweeping and all that commencing here this week. So that'll get cleaned up. Always aiming for that first weekend in May of being done. Sometimes we roll over to the second week. So, and dust abatement program, the application closed April 30th. We're right around the same number of applications as we usually are, 375-ish or so. And continuing with that, now it's just get it all in the GIS system so that we can get staking done out in the field using handheld GPS. And then we're ready to roll with the crews in early June. So month-long delay in how we have to process on admin side. Bridge file updates, you can see that in my report from engineering. JBS access road continues. Discussions continue with the Highway 873 intersection and how that's all going to go. Gravel road shoulder pull program was tendered, 2 bids received. Successful contractor was awarded the work and schedule to be determined yet. Crack sealing, May 4th started. Line painting will follow after crack sealing so that we don't paint all the yellow lines and then crack seal down the middle of the road. Doesn't make sense, right? And yeah, engineering supervisor received some education and training. I also attended the CPAA with the manager of planning and development and engineering services along with 4 of you. That was a really good session. Lots on data centers and other kinds of things to think with development and how you get your planning done for what your site selectors are going to be. Found some useful tools that the Alberta government already has online for us, and we'll consider how that fits in with some of your corporate strategic planning objectives and whatnot in that regard. And other than that, I'll say that the permit report on the back, you can see numbers continue to be low. And that's where things are at. So if there are any questions of council, I will do my best to answer.
Thank you, Mark. Are there questions? Councillor Scandra, please.
Just wanted to confirm Hamlet Street sweeping has started then? Is it alphabetical or?
Nope. Don't really try to start in the same place every year, but generally we know where the most phone calls are going to come from. So we go there first and try to just do it through that. Trying to keep administration managed as well with what happens. So,
okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Kopp.
I was watching a video from the county of Lethbridge, and they have what they call a gravel retriever. Have you ever used that or thought about it? Like,
we use them.
do you? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, generally spring. You can probably do it all season. But spring and fall are the best because all the gravel ridges and stuff alongside the road, when you cut them, when you're pulling in green vegetation, it takes that much longer for it to dry and then blow out of the gravel before you start spreading stuff. But we'll do it as necessary. Generally spring and fall though is best because it's dead or dying, and wind road a couple times, work it back and forth, and it'll all blow off.
Go ahead.
So they didn't really show exactly how it was. So it's attached to the grader or it's on its own unit? Like,
different processes, different procedures based on what attachments you get into, whether it's grader or using an agricultural tractor to pull behind. So we're working on things with the grader operators to do better without having to do gravel retriever work, but where it's significant, that's where other tools are brought in.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Baumgarten.
Just under the other business, the manager of ops looked at roadside ditches for erosional ditch fill and stuff like that. Just any comments on the degree of filling you're seeing, and then is there something that should be done if we notice it, or if our ratepayers give us a heads up if there's particularly bad? Or
So most of this has been dealt with in the past through the Director of Agricultural Services with soil erosion. We have done an extensive program in the past where letters have gone out to landowners saying what needs to be done, corrective measures, costs being borne back to them for cleaning out the ditches where soil erosion has filled in our ditches, and then also some engagement on what can be better done in your agricultural practices to alleviate soil erosion. I think they've been re-engaging with some of the same folks again, and I think some of it comes along with just the industry of agriculture that you're involved in. But there are mechanisms that they can do to assist in that, with getting some cover crops seeded in and things like that. But I'm not the specialist, so I won't elaborate any further in case I'm crossing wires.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? If not, a motion that we accept the municipal reports as presented. Councillor Kopp, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. And 11.2, the proclamation of National Public Works Week.
Yeah, same thing every year. Not to dull it down any, but something to try to celebrate and recognize our staff for the efforts that they put in towards our public every year for infrastructure that's utilized 365 days a year and the quality of life that our ratepayers benefit from. Recognizing this week is something that's national recognition. It's really, really large down in the United States. They have competitions and stuff through the American Public Works Association, which we have won awards in the past when we really got after it. More these days is just kind of putting the public message out there of what we do, why we do it, how it gets done, and trying to celebrate the people that deliver it to the public every day. So if council would give us support on that, we'll continue with our endeavor, advertising in the local newspaper and a few things around here.
Thank you, Mark. And the recommendation and request is that we proclaim May 17th to 23rd as National Public Works Week in the County of Newell. Councillor Screever.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Post agenda items, top 7 over 70. That was discussed last meeting. I think the suggestion was that it be moved to or considered at the, pardon me? At Brooks Region Economic. Brooks, yeah. And Matt and I had a discussion on what are your thoughts? I kind of liked what you were thinking about it anyway. Go ahead.
And everybody can correct me if I have a wrong recollection of what we discussed there. There's different sponsor levels for the event, and I think consensus was somewhere around the $1,000 or the $2,500 mark. I think the $1,000 gets you 1 seat at a table. The $2,500 gets you 2. IAC doesn't meet till June. If you want some good County of Newell press, for the $2,500, I'd suggest you sponsor it if you want to sponsor it. If you just want to send people there, a motion for Ariana to buy you tickets if you want to attend, may be in order.
Okay, thank you. I think, this is a relatively new thing that happens every other year in Medicine Hat, and they are moving it across the country. There's multiple cities that are in regions that are starting to do it. So probably, I was at the function 2 years ago, and certainly we would be noticed there if we sponsored. I think, and if we get some attendance, whether it's a table or just as many people as would like to, typically they have quite a few people. They've only done it once before, so this is just for this year that I'm thinking. But what are your thoughts? Neil, go ahead. Councillor Johnson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this one or any other, but we're getting quite a list of gala events coming up, and we can't be sending the whole council to it.
No.
Or 2 people max, is my opinion.
And a sponsorship, or what do you, I mean, if you
Maybe,
sponsored at
maybe
$2,500.
$1,000 or ticket. I don't know. I'm saying that we have been going to a few more conventions. Everything's coming up a little bit. And we could go to one of these every week that's worthy. So I think we have to just be careful how we ease into this.
Okay, go ahead, Councillor Screever.
Yeah, I'm fine with a couple people, couple couples. And I think the $2,500 sponsorship from the county I think it's well worth it. I think it's good exposure, so.
You make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. And just for clarification, go ahead, Councillor Cobb.
What did we do last time? Did we do any sponsorship last time or anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
I attended and bought my own tickets, and I mean, with 2,500, you get 2 tickets. So we'd have 2 people. I'm interested in going again. And I mean, I can pay for an extra ticket for Honda. That's not an issue. So, all in favor of the motion, or any further discussion? Okay, good. Thank you. And who else? Who would like? I would like to go. Anyone else? There's some time yet. There's some time yet. So.
It's in October or something. Yeah.
October 29th.
October 29th.
Okay. Okay, we can move on. That will be something that Ariana can take care of, some tickets, and as we get closer to the date, we'll determine exactly how many, right? Because somebody else will probably attend. We might have 4 tickets. Okay. Second item under post agenda is Bill 28. I think RMA has had some activity on this bill. It's an omnibus bill. It includes a number of different initiatives that are some only loosely connected probably, but and we'll have an opportunity to meet with our MLA on May the 20th, and we thought we should, in discussion with Councillor Chrisman and Matt, we thought we should address it. I'm not, I don't know how you want to approach it.
My questions.
Go ahead.
I think if we could make a list of 3 to 5 maximum questions regarding the bill, I think that would be a good discussion starter and see where she takes it.
Okay.
My number 1 question, I guess, is the overarching, why make it such a large bill with so many diverse topics? Like, what is the thinking there? It seems more like a federal thinking than a provincial thinking. They're usually more focused on their bills at the provincial level, where this is everything from aggregate to libraries and everything in between, so.
Right. What's the best way to bring this to a focus? I have not had an opportunity to listen to the webinar that RMA put forward. And I understand, though, from what I've read, is that probably not every municipality has the same concerns or questions about the bill.
It affects differently.
Will there be anything coming from RMA in terms of a written response to the?
It's ongoing. We've been sending out, but it will continue as well, because the team is continuing to meet with Minister Williams, and those results will be made aware once they get them. So there has been communication, and there will be ongoing communication.
Okay, good. And I think, Matt, your shop has had some, like your compatriots or whatever, colleagues have met from various different municipalities to discuss some matters as well, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this will be our last meeting before meeting with the MLA on the 20th. Would it make sense to give folks some space to, if you haven't had an opportunity to listen to the RMA webinar, you've got some space to listen to that. I've sent out a summary that AB Munis put together by legislative change. It's laid out pretty nice, actually. Give you some space to get through that, and the request would be if you have particular questions you would like raised, you can send them in. I'll share them with the crew, and we can shortlist. If we get 100 questions, we can consolidate and shortlist by the 19th at noon.
Okay.
Is that a way forward?
I think that sounds good. That sounds efficient to me, and okay. Okay, that's good. With that, I think we are prepared to go in camera if there's a motion to that effect. Councillor, go ahead.
I had one more thing back to the functions of council. The Southeast Alberta, like they hand out their awards or who they're awarded to. Do one of us go to that? It's on May 27th. I was just thought I would just double check with that. Like, is that a Reeve thing? I just thought I'd bring it up. I believe Amanda Philpott had gone and been our representative in the past.
I've gone several times, but I just went. I didn't.
Oh, okay. I just thought I'd bring it up just so that.
I mean, I think we're all invited, right? Or did you all get invitation or not? Yeah. It would be good to have somebody there. Yeah, I have it penciled in right now, and not that I have to be the representative either, because I know there's potentially a conflict coming too. But we'll have a meeting before then. Yet the 21st. Let's revisit that there, and if anybody is, mark it on your calendars, and we'll have somebody there for sure. I would think, right? Thank you. Anything else? If not, a motion to move in camera would be in order. Councillor Scandrup, all in favor, please indicate. That is carried.